Hey guys, so the topic of the day is it better to get a naturally aspirated vehicle or a forced induction vehicle? All right guys, so let's talk about this a little bit. So I've been looking at cars. I've looked at the Kia Stinger as well as the Dodge Charger and Challenger in the 5.7 V8 variety, both of which put out approximately 370 horsepower. So which one do you prefer? Let's take weight out of the equation. Let's take out whether it's a V8 versus a 6 turbo and the class of the vehicle. What would you rather drive? Forced induction or naturally aspirated? Given the same comparable horsepower and torque. So let's talk about the pros and cons of both. So let's start with forced induction. Let's just assume the 6 twin turbo of the Kia Stinger. The beautiful thing about forced induction is, first, your torque curve. It's almost essentially your whole RPM range. Your peak torque is from like 1500 RPMs all the way up to like 4,000 or 5,000 RPMs. And it's going to be torquey. It's going to perform awesome. And that's one of the best advantages of forced induction. But my argument with that is that you're relying on the timing of the turbos with that, with the spooling and things of that nature. Wide open throttle, absolutely, it's gonna perform outstanding. But the one argument I have towards the natural aspirated motor is that you get the full use of your throttle. So given the same horsepower in a naturally aspirated setup, like in my Dodge Charger, is if I put 10% of the pedal down or 10% of the throttle, I can expect to see that proportion amount of power put down to the wheels and to the road. So if I'm at a stoplight and I want more predictable acceleration, I want to get on it a little bit, but I don't want to go through the car ahead of me, I pick a naturally aspirated motor 100% of the time. You have 100% of the feel for that pedal. If I put it down 10%, 25%, 50%, 75% of that, the amount of power that's put down on the wheels, 100% predictable. Or with my limited experience with forced induction, you have to manipulate the throttle more. For instance, like when I was driving around the city and those turbos aren't spooled and producing that extra horsepower, it felt a little underpowered. It kind of felt more like a 4-cylinder driving around the city because the turbos aren't fully engaged. You're not getting the full amount of torque and power proportionate to the amount of throttle you're giving it. So that's my number one strike against forced induction. You just don't get that same feel as that naturally aspirated motor. One of the key advantages of having that forced induction motor is the ability to achieve better gas mileage, given the same amount of power, given the same amount of 0 to 60 performance. Given the trends and the EPA regulations and all of that, that makes sense. You could have best of both worlds in that case. But for me, I can still get 28, 30 miles per gallon on the highway in my Dodge Charger in my automatic because of cylinder deactivation. So, that's my counter argument to that. Now that's a V8 application. It's not just, a 370 horsepower naturally aspirated V6 or something like that. So there are different technologies in that. But overall, I much prefer the drive and feel of a naturally aspirated motor over forced induction. I mean, it really all comes down to the throttle and pedal manipulation. So I'd like to get a feel for what you guys are thinking on the subject. You know, would you rather get the forced induction, have the same horsepower, better fuel mileage, and have to manipulate the throttle a little bit more? Or is the decrease in miles per gallon, the ease of throttle, a better option for you? I'd love to hear what you guys are thinking on the topic. I know this being a Dodge Charger Challenger channel for the most part, everyone's probably going to lean more towards NA unless you have a Hellcat or Demon, but just want to hear what you guys have to say. So hope you guys liked the topic and the video today. Hope you guys have a great weekend. Take care, and I'll talk to you guys soon. And I hope you guys like the new camera and technology. I got a new camera, and I'm hoping to provide better quality both in the sound and video department going forward for your viewing pleasure. So with that, guys, I'll let you go. Talk to you soon. Take care.